Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for that warm welcome for Mrs. Rajavi. It's very kind of you. Could I start by saying that yesterday I chaired a meeting of the Delegation for Relations with Iraq, where we were discussing the crisis in Camp Liberty. We have a situation where Alejo Vidal-Quadras, myself, and other senior members of Parliament were persuaded by the UN Special Representative Martin Kobler that we should put pressure on the residents of Camp Ashraf to move to Camp Liberty, where their safety and security would be guaranteed and where the living conditions were ideal for a temporary transit location, which is what they called Camp Liberty, that they would be there for only a few short weeks. They would have a revolving door situation where UNHCR would interview them, register each individually as a refugee, and they would then be quickly resettled to countries of safety. More individuals, a year and a half after the people moved into Camp Liberty, more individuals have been taken out of Camp Liberty in body bags than have been resettled. The safety and security that we guaranteed, and I was a party to this, and I feel partly responsible for this. The UN, the US, and the EU guaranteed the safety and security of these 3,100 people. That was horribly breached on the 9th of February when there was a rocket attack where more than 45 Katyusha rockets fired in a tight trajectory in a professional military manner over a 15-minute period, killed 8 people, dismembered 10, and wounded over 90 in a serious way. So we have deceived these people. They are living, in the words of a working party from the United Nations, in prison-like conditions. The 1,500 who have already been registered as refugees have none of the rights of refugees under the UN Charter. They have no freedom of movement. We have betrayed and deceived these people. And as you will hear from a series of speakers today, we now are demanding that these people be given a guarantee of security by immediately either moving them back to the relative safety of Camp Ashraf or immediately restoring and rebuilding the 17,500 concrete T-walls that were removed by the Iraqi government before the 3,100 people took residence in Camp Liberty. You have to ask, why were these T-walls removed? They were built by the Americans to provide security from rocket and mortar attacks when the American military were occupying Camp Liberty. Why were they removed? You have to ask yourself, why were the body armour and hard hats, which belonged to the people of Camp Liberty, forced to be left behind in Camp Ashraf? Why have they not been given the right to build a concrete bunker in which they can take shelter in the event of another rocket attack? Why have they been refused permission even to be supplied with shovels to dig trenches in which they can hide in the event of another attack? And the only conclusion I can come to, more than a month and a half since the vicious attack on 9th February, is that they are being lined up to be annihilated by the Iraqi government and their puppet masters in Tehran. This is an outrage, and it is a stain on our credibility as a parliament.